minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 3 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Mark 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime. Stations, if you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 573-893-7477. Mark 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studio producers, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime for today's live show broadcast on the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Stations, we are coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, Mark. 1 minute, stations. 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime, on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds. Have fun.
The following is a presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Powered by Learfield, this is Hail Southern Live on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Go to the pistol formation for the plus 47. There goes Jalen White again, up the numbers, 25, 20. Watch the young bull go again. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern Live is presented by Morris Bank. Bleed blue, Bank Blue, Morris Bank member FDIC. Also brought to you by the Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. Macon Occupational Medicine. The health of your business may depend on us. And by the Savannah Airport Commission with the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's your host, the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Eagle Nation, it is great to see you again. Another Monday night of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, on until 8 o'clock tonight, talking all things Eagle athletics. If you have any questions, please submit those on Facebook Live in the comments section, or you can send us a tweet at GS Sports Network. Before we begin tonight, one question for everyone in attendance here at Wild Wing Cafe. Who loves corn? Huh? Who loves corn? What a night it was in Lincoln last Saturday. Second ever Power 5 victory for Georgia Southern football, 45-42 against one of the best programs of all time, those Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Eagles are now 2-0 for the first time since 2018. Back on the road this weekend at UAB, going to beautiful Protective Stadium in Birmingham. That's a 3:30 Eastern kick between the Eagles and Blazers. Cutwater Spirits tailgate show right here on the Georgia Southern Sports Network will start at 1:30. Talking Georgia Southern women's soccer for the first 10 minutes before we get to head coach Clay Helton and player guest Todd Bradley-Glenn. A lot of travel lately for these guys. Great to have them back home. They'll be in action coming up on Sunday to start Sun Belt Conference play at Troy against the Trojans. Give it up for Georgia Southern women's soccer head coach Chris Adams.
Thanks, Danny.
What's going on, man?
Good to be home.
You know, considering all the traveling that you've done, we may as well remind everybody that Hail Southern Live is in part to you brought by the Savannah Hilton Head International Airport or the Savannah Airport Commission. Visit them online at flysav.com. Before your next trip, you had a chance to go out to Arizona for a couple of days. I know you only got the one match in because of some issues with Arizona State, but with such a young team, how does all that early season travel help to serve you well once you get into league play?
Well, I'll answer that in a minute, but first off, congrats to Clay Helton in football. What a fantastic result. You know, we have a rule when we have team meals, no phones at the table, and I had to relax that one because the Eagles were on. So you know, so congrats to them. Yeah, our trip to Arizona. You know, knowing that Jared has a background and loves military training, I think somewhere along the line, we've played 8 games, 6 of them on the road. We're about to play in our 3rd time zone. Yeah, I think it's more military training that I've provided our group thus far than it is women's soccer training. But I think, you know, we're well prepared from our travels, from the tough schedule that we played. That was really the objective, was to play a competitive schedule and be prepared for conference play, and we definitely accomplished that, you know, with our trip out to Arizona, as well as the other matches we've played thus far.
Now, had you been out there before? Had anybody on the team been that far away before?
I recruit out there a fair amount.
Okay.
The weather's usually good, but it was ridiculously hot. We landed, it was 106 degrees at 10:45 at night. Then we slept over because we got to the hotel at 1:11 Mountain Time, 4:11 Eastern Time. So we had to sleep a bit before we went over to Flagstaff. And at Flagstaff, it was 72 degrees at kickoff and got down to 51 degrees that night. So we hit the desert and we hit the mountains. When I told you we were doing military training, I wasn't kidding.
Question coming in on Twitter. You can send yours in at GS Sports Network, also on our Facebook Live feed. Coach Lance asks, what's the biggest difference between coaching at D2 North Georgia and Georgia Southern?
I think it's just every game's a competitive game. When I was at Division II, you'd get your schedule and find 5 or 6 games that you knew were going to be highly competitive. Every single game is a competitive match at this Division I level. Everybody prepares so well for each other, and so I think it's just every game is a game. You know, while I was at D2, we could play a Division I school and be competitive.
Sure.
But I think the Thursday, Sunday, we'd be competitive on Thursday, but I don't know if we could rally and do it again on Sunday with the depth. So the biggest difference has been that, you know, competitive games every time out, having to recover quickly to play on a Thursday and then, Sunday at 1 o'clock. That's a tall ask of our kids, but we have so much support that helps accelerate that process, from the nutritionist to the, strength and conditioning coach to our athletic training staff and ice baths. I mean, we just have so many resources that, it provides our kids. And that's the other biggest difference, is the amount of support that you have is probably the other huge difference. So, that would be my answer.
6 matches into the season, you guys have already seen a couple of SEC teams going to Auburn, getting Georgia back on the schedule. I know it had been a long time before the Eagles and the Bulldogs had played on the pitch. Playing games like that, how meaningful is that to help build that program even more?
Yeah, I mean, you got to play the best to be the best, and so we're not going to shy away from any competition. When we can get those type of games on our schedule, we're going to. And so it stretched us, and truthfully, it kind of exposed some weaknesses, but what that's provided us is an opportunity to fix those weaknesses before we go into conference play. And then some of the stuff, we have some strengths as well, and some things that we're able to do, and even against a Power 5 school, and that gives you a pretty good idea when you can have success against a Georgia that's going to work when we get into conference play in the Sun Belt.
I know you lost 8 seniors off that team a year ago that went to the Sun Belt Championship game against a South squad that seems to be in it year in and year out. They've won 8 of the last 9 years. But when you take away a Maddie, you take away a Marcella, you've got 15 freshmen on this year's roster. What would you say the strengths of this team are relative to the team last year that got you to a chance to play for a league championship?
Yeah, I mean, the amount of talent we have and the depth we have is incredible. In some ways, we're still playing game 8, and there's still combinations we haven't tried yet because we're just so deep. I mean, when we make a scout team versus a starting team, it's a highly competitive match, and that's going to help us. Last year I only played 15 players, and so if you took any injuries or you got to postseason, you just didn't have the depth you needed to get over the hump. And this year, we're playing 20, 22 players. We're playing a lot more players, which is going to help, keep us fresh for a good push, come postseason time.
Similar to a college football season, you don't get a whole lot of chances to do this. You only have 18 matches on the schedule. You're about to get into Sun Belt play this coming Sunday. We mentioned heading to Troy, down to the Wiregrass to play the first out of 10. So it seems that every time you're on the field, those are precious to try to get as much out of your team as you can.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe that after we play Troy next Sunday, our schedule's 50% complete. So it's crazy, but, we don't get a whole lot of prep time. We show up August 2nd, and we played Auburn 6 days later. So August 9th, we're already playing a match. So it happens quick, and our kids have to pay it forward in the summer. And, every game does count, and especially now that we're in conference play, every game's important to jockey for that positioning to make a run at the tournament championship.
Now we've got Coach Helton coming up next to talk about the victory at Nebraska last weekend and preview UAB this coming weekend over in Birmingham. But since you've gotten here, what's been the best Georgia Southern football game you've seen?
I mean, that has to be up there. I mean,
okay.
Not in person, but, it does spin me to a Clay Helton story that, the type of guy that he is. We had a big-time recruit coming in, and he's in the middle of the season, and so I think, well, I don't know that I want to bug him as busy as he is, but we had our top 2024 recruit coming in, and I texted him and said, can I have 5 minutes of your time at some point, and we'll work around your schedule. Well, the type of person he is, he said, yeah, bring her at 4 o'clock in the middle of practice, and I'll introduce her to the guys. And so we bring the recruit to football practice. He stops practice, comes over, talks to her and her mom, introduces them to the guys, and then she breaks it down at the end of practice. And so pretty cool experience, and, just that family atmosphere that this athletic department have, which is special.
Women's soccer back in action coming up on Sunday at Troy to start Sun Belt Conference play. That's the 18th. And from there, it's halfway through the schedule, and then 9 more Sun Belt matches with Marshall in the league, Old Dominion, with James Madison coming up as well. Going to be a tough test to get back to the conference championship game, but I know you guys are equipped to do it.
Yeah, we're young and talented, and so hopefully that means we're resilient as well. So we got a lot of talented players, and we're poised to make another run at it.
Thanks a lot for being here tonight. Enjoy the rest of the time at Wild Wing, and we'll catch up down the line.
Hail Southern, go Eagles.
That's women's soccer head coach Chris Adams. Coming up next, we'll talk with Georgia Southern football coach Clay Helton. Lots to talk about with the head Eagle. That's coming up next from Wild Wing Cafe. This is Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
You've trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance. All without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
You need the best players. You need to keep them safe. And if they do get injured, you need the best occupational medicine services available to make sure that they're back in the game for you and your business. This is Leonard Bevel from Macon Occupational Medicine, and that's exactly what we've been doing for business and industries throughout Georgia since 1990. We outperform others by getting injured workers back to work quicker while maintaining the highest levels of customer satisfaction. The health of your business may depend on us. We're Macon Occupational Medicine.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
Optum Medical Center Tatnall, we know you're not yourself when even just one part of you is hurt. Optum Medical Center Tatnall in Reedsville provides Eagle Nation with the highest quality care in surgical, hospital, clinical, diagnostic, and therapeutic services. The physician-owned medical center has been named one of America's top 100 best hospitals for joint replacement and is a 5-star recipient for total hip replacement, total knee replacement, and spinal fusion surgery. For more information, visit OptumHealthSystem.com.
Here's to the fans who show up for the game, finding their spot, staking their claim, towing the trailers, hauling the gear. A tradition of tailgating that happens each year. And here's to the truck they drive, the Ford F-150 truck. Power your tailgate like never before with an available ProPower onboard generator. For great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
Vision, new identity, same battle cry.
Man, what a great day to be an Eagle. Mercy.
It's time to GATA.
Gerald Green outside the hash. 10, 5, bye-bye. Jalen White, welcome the young bull all the way home. Dougie Thompson, what a tackle at the 10-yard line. How much fun is he to watch?
Listen to Eagles football all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Down and 10 at the Nebraska 26-yard line. Synovus play clock down to 8. Huskers have really wide defensive tackles, only one linebacker in the box. The flag to snap. Eagles run it right at him. Jalen White inside the 20. Breaks the 3 to the 10 to the 5. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. We just said it. The D tackles were so wide, and they part that sea of red. Another touchdown for the blue and white. It's 13-7.
Second of 2 touchdowns for Jalen White during a crazy first half as part of one of the most memorable nights in the history of Georgia Southern football. Last Saturday in Lincoln, Nebraska, 45-42, the Georgia Southern win. Second Power 5 victory in school history and a 2-0 start for the Blue and White as Hail Southern Live continues from Wild Wing Cafe, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. You can submit your questions or comments here on Facebook Live or tweet us at GS Sports Network. The journey continues. A lot left to do at UAB this weekend. First ever matchup between the Eagles and Blazers. Mentioned a 3:30 Eastern kickoff from Protective Stadium. Cutwater Spirits tailgate show will start at 1:30. Incidentally, on the tables tonight, we have some koozies from Cutwater Spirits to go along with some great kettle corn to celebrate the victory over the Huskers. You know this guy. Give it up for head coach Clay Helton here at Hail Southern Live. So how was your weekend?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Isn't college football fun?
Awesome, man.
I mean, it's the best game in town. It's the best game on earth. And, man, what a special moment for our kids and a culmination of, 10 months of work to be able to train a staff and kids, and you trust your training and take it to Lincoln, Nebraska, and you come out with a win. We always walk into a park expecting to win and being able to play to our standard and executing, and to be able to see kids have the mental toughness to be able to get over a lot of highs and lows like we were going to talk about, and be able to say, you know what, we're going to have some good plays. They're going to have some good plays. There's going to be a lot of emotion in that stadium, which it was rocking. It was unbelievable venue to play in. But to be able to have the mental toughness to get to the next 4 to 6 seconds and play all the way to the last play, really proud of our staff and our kids.
One of our favorite things from the entire night was, and you mentioned how loud it got at times, more than 86,000 were going crazy on multiple occasions when they scored and when they tried to get things fired up on defense. But whenever you made a big play, it was funny watching all 86,000 of those people sit back down and be quiet when you were scoring 45 points. That was quite a sight and quite a listen.
Yeah, we talked about it all week that, to be able to do special things, and you want to be a national brand, and you want to put yourself as a national story, you have to go in and expect to win in Power 5 places, in a place that has tradition and history like Nebraska. And to be able to go into that venue that was electric, and our kids have just emotional intelligence and really control the moment and control their emotions and focus on their job for 60 minutes of play, that's the mark of a good football team. And so proud of the execution that they did over 60 minutes and not letting the outside noise affect their standard.
It was truly a back-and-forth game with 5 different ties over the course of the contest. You fell behind twice, including right before the last drive. But with 3:05 left, the ball went to Kyle's hands. The ball found Derwin's hands 4 more times. He sets a school record with 12 catches. Kyle throws for 409, second most in school history. He was named Sun Belt Conference Offensive Player of the Week just a couple of hours ago, and the Walter Camp National Offensive Player of the Week. First time that has happened in program history. To watch those performances from the sideline with all of that around you, how much more special was that?
Oh, it's neat, and just happy for the kids. You want your kids to shine when the lights are the brightest. And, coming down the stretch in some critical moments, you just watch guys make play after play, a 4th and 2, and there's Derwin making a great one-on-one play to keep that drive alive in the last drive. And then, you watch your quarterback see man coverage and check to Caleb Hood and say, you know what, let's go deep, buddy. And he makes the call. He changes the play. And you're like, man, these guys are just playing with a confidence that's out there. And it was really neat to watch these kids trust in each other and really play for each other and walk out with a victory that, they'll remember for the rest of their lives.
I don't know if you get moments like that at the end of the game if we don't see a moment like we did at the end of the second quarter, and it was awful when it happened when Sam Kenderson goes down with the injury. Yeah. But as he's getting loaded onto the cart and about to be taken off the field, the entire travel roster, one by one, goes out onto the field, goes and makes sure he's okay. And we talked about last week how everybody was excited when everybody else did something good. Yeah. Well, to see everybody go out and console him after what had happened, that was really touching to watch.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, credit to Sam, too, because it was a gut punch. You know, you're talking about one of the more beloved figures on our football team, and a guy that was really playing at a high level and worked so hard to get in that moment. So you're talking about an emotional gut punch, but the way Sam handled it and the way he got on that card and looked every guy in the eye and said, finish it, just the look he had on his face, man, what a teammate. You know, and we know his disappointment, but the way he took it and the way he let his guys know, hey, everything's okay, finish this thing. Man, what a special kid, and looking forward to having him back in the future and having 3 years left with him. It was neat to see our team rally and really take a deep breath and say, okay, let's go to the next play. Let's go to the next drive. Let's finish this.
Go to some questions from social media. You can ask at GS Sports Network on Twitter or on Facebook Live in the comments section. Red Dragons at it again. Coach, what exactly did you say to the referee after you asked for a timeout at 1 second on the play clock and he immediately blew the whistle?
Well, it had been a little bit of a frustrating night with the refs, and there had been some miscommunication earlier. You saw the timeout that happened right before the 2-minute drive, and we had asked for the ball to be placed on the right hash and called the play. Obviously, the play clock's running down, and it was placed on the left hash, and it did not have enough time to flip the call with the motion and had to take a timeout and communicated that to the ref. He said, Coach, it's our bad. And I said, well, there's some things you can't say sorry for, you know. And then that miscommunication happened, and I won't say the words because it's not polite to say, but there's miscommunications that happen in football, and I think he understood my frustration at the end of that.
All right, Lance asks, how important were the 3 and outs defensively at the start of each half?
Oh, my goodness. We talked about that we needed to start fast, especially offensively. We had not done that, and we put it in our defense's hands. We deferred on the opening kickoff. There was a little bit of a strong wind at the beginning of the game and wanted to be able to put our defense out there and play good defense. They get a 3 and out, and we're able to take the ball immediately and drive it down and get the score. And then you come out in the second half, and you immediately, that first drive in the second half allows you to separate again. Yeah. You know, so to be able to, one, start fast with the game plan that you have, then may be able to see exactly what they're doing for a half, make some alterations that we really felt that could help us in the second half. That's back-to-back weeks. I thought that Coach Ellis and the offensive staff did a really nice job of diagnosing what was going on to be able to have even more success in the second half, and they did a nice job.
I will take one more question before we hit our next timeout. This coming on Twitter from Brooke. Did you anticipate the kind of success running the ball that you did on Saturday with 233 yards?
We challenged our offensive line, and I give them credit. We challenged the runners. We told them that there are going to be opportunities for explosive plays, and it's not in the pass game. It's going to be in the run game. We're going to see 5-on-5. It's going to be a 5-man box with 5 offensive linemen, and their safety's deep. And when that happens, our offensive line has to marry up, control the line of scrimmage, give really talented runners the opportunity to get to the next level and make the last one miss. And we challenge the runners to do that. We challenge the offensive line, and you look up and you have that much trust. How about a 3rd and 10? A 3rd and 10, and Coach Ellis says, you know what, we know exactly what you're going to do. Let's put it in the offensive line's hands. Let's put it in the back's hands, and there goes 25, splits the middle with a great call by you.
Five-man box, that was too easy.
You saw the 2-3 techniques in the 5-man box, too. and so to be able to trust in your line and trust in the backs, have 233 yards rushing, 4 more touchdowns by that running back room. That's 9 touchdowns by the running backs, in 2 games. That's a really talented room right now that's doing great things.
All right, we're almost halfway home. We'll take a break on this edition of Hail Southern Live. More with Coach Helton after this from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Are you thinking about buying medicine online? A search for online pharmacies yields more than 20 million results. But which ones can you trust? Medicines bought from unlicensed online pharmacies can be dangerous. You may get a fake drug, your condition may get worse, or you may experience a bad reaction. Don't put your health at risk. To learn how to find an online pharmacy that's safe and legal, visit fda.gov/BeSafeRx. A message from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. With honest conversations that let them know what we expect. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be shared with friends or family. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov. We all make choices about alcohol. Kids make choices whether to drink or not.
Bye, Dad. Remember, I'm going to Alex's party tonight and sleeping over.
Hey, remind me about that party again?
And adults make choices whether to talk about it. That's true of parents and every other trusted adult in a kid's life. Kids want to know our expectations, and they want honest answers in everyday conversations. So talk with your kids and help lead them on a positive path, because when you talk, they hear you. Learn more at underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Powered by Learfield, this is the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank.
Wings up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Continuing with this week's edition of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, presented by Morris Bank of the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Georgia Power is proud to be a partner with Eagle Athletics. Irk Russell said that our offense is called the Georgia Power Company, and now Georgia Power would like to help you save on your power bill. Visit georgiapower.com to learn more about becoming more energy efficient. Eagle Nation, this is the time to strike while the iron is hot. Main things you can do to help the program grow after an instance like we had last Saturday at a 45-42 win against Nebraska, a Power 5 team. Continue to buy your season tickets. Donate to the Irk Russell Fund. Can do it for as low as $5 per month. Make sure to look into the Competitive Excellence Fund so we can keep guys like Coach Helton and the staff around for a long time. And if you've already done so, please recruit others to do the same. Visit gseagles.com or call 1-800-GSU-WINS for all the information. And it just seems like with everything that has been building these last few months since you got here, the IPF, building your staff, spring ball, now a 2-0 start, it's a real-life application that this works.
Yeah, definitely. This university has unbelievable leadership. When you talk about Dr. Marrero and you talk about Jared Benko and Chris Davis, that alignment of a vision and being able to supply the resources to complete that vision is really important. And you're not just seeing it in one sport, you're seeing it across the board.
Sure.
I mean, that's as good a spring as anybody can have in college athletics that we just experienced, both golf and baseball. And now you look up in whether it's volleyball, soccer, football, the success that's going on, it starts from the top and it trickles down. And, one thing that we're very fortunate of is to be able to have elite platinum standard leadership with great vision that are willing to commit the resources to be able to take us there.
By the way, Eagle Nation, if you didn't see it on social media within the last couple of hours, men's golf, another victory. They won the Gopher Invitational earlier today, 20 under par. They won it by 5 shots. Wilson Andrus, individual medalist, he went 11 under. We'll have to get Carter Collins on here a little bit later on. We'll also get him on the Inside Eagle Nation podcast. New episode coming out tomorrow morning, talking about Nebraska. Plenty of post-game interviews that Terry was able to do. We'll also visit a little bit more with Chris Adams, and we'll talk plenty about women's golf in addition to a full preview of those UAB Blazers. But to get back to how this team could get to a point where they could go in and do what they did, you've talked about this mental toughness. You could look at a 59-7 game last weekend and say, well, what mental toughness do you need? You blew Morgan State out of the water. But for somebody that's in it and somebody that has to work around these guys all the time, being mentally locked in is key to going into an environment where there's 86,000 people and not flinching.
No, it's about the prep. It's not about the hype of a game. It's about the preparation. And so we felt that we wanted to give the kids adversity all week. Took them for the first time to Eagle Creek. Wanted to take them to a different place. Finally dried out over there, which was really nice. After 20 inches of rain, it hit just perfect. And being able to take them over on a Tuesday, had the best practice of all training camp, all the fall. Being able to come back and get in Paulson and turn the speaker up as loud as we can. I apologize to all our neighbors. You know, we made it as loud as we can. That truly made them have to function without being able to hear each other and communicate to each other, but rely on their hand signals. And then with Thursday, I just started dumping water on everybody. Just took buckets and just started spraying everybody, from coaches to players, to just making them just feel just uncomfortable and be comfortable being uncomfortable, and take that mental toughness and being able to get to the next play. And the kids did it, and the staff did it. And I'm proud of both groups. You know, it's a group that's growing together. And now we got another step of mental toughness to be able to put an emotional game behind us, stay humble, stay hungry, and stay consistent in our execution and our standard of play. And so that's the next challenge. You know, we celebrated yesterday. This is the players' off day today. And when we walk in the building tomorrow, Nebraska will not be mentioned once. It's all UAB all the time, whatever it takes to try to get 1-0 this week.
Couple of questions coming in from Facebook. Kenny asking, can you talk about the play of the offensive and defensive line?
Oh, my goodness. I really, you know, talking about the defense, and we got our quarterback of the defense here tonight, you know, Todd Bradley-Glenn. But you talk about that defensive front end. I thought that we went against probably the best offensive skill team we may go against all season. Between the quarterback, the running back is, I think, one of the top 5 running backs in the country. Yeah. You know, and having to get him on the ground. I really thought that Justin Ellis may have played as good a game as he's played in a while. And it started right from the second play of the game, getting that sack. And, you know, it was one of those shootouts that went back and forth, but there were some critical drive stops in that defensive front, that front 7, that was really important. And I think about, you know, all of a sudden being 21-14 and bringing the team up on the 50 and saying, hey, guys, you take a deep breath. Remember what we said, this thing's going to go back and forth, and guess what? You're in the second quarter right now, and you're running with them stride for stride. You know, and you can just see, like, yeah, we are. You know, this is not only doable, this is what we expect, you know, when we walk in this park. So it was neat to see their confidence, and that defensive front is continuing to get better and better.
To dovetail a little bit off the offensive line, Gerald Green's first snap wasn't an official play because Nebraska was called for offsides. His actual first snap, he busts one up the middle, bows it out right, 67-yard run down to the 3. 2 plays later, rightfully getting the chance to finish the drive with his first of 2 touchdowns. He carries it 10 times for 132 and 2 scores. But to have a run like that 67-yard burst the first time you touch it, especially there, that had to be remarkably meaningful for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think between him and Jalen, they really, you know, that 4 touchdowns worth of running, the 233 yards, the pass protection. I mean, we've talked about the run game, but you throw it over 40 times, and with 3 NFL defensive ends on the field, and you don't give up a sack, man, that's impressive. That's impressive day. That's team protection. Yeah. That's winning your one-on-one battles. That's having a good game plan about getting it out of his hand. It's running backs and tight ends chipping defensive ends. It was a team effort in protection to protect Kyle and give him the opportunity to make the plays that he can make. So the balance of that run game and then keeping our quarterback upright was a huge piece of the puzzle to get a victory in Lincoln.
Time for a break on this week's edition of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe. When we come back, Georgia Southern football's resident elder statesman, Todd Bradley-Glenn, to the dais. We'll talk with him in just a moment on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
Here's to the fans who show up for the game, finding their spot, staking their claim, towing the trailers, hauling the gear. A tradition of tailgating that happens each year. And here's to the truck they drive. The Ford F-150 truck. Power your tailgate like never before with an available ProPower onboard generator. For great offers, see your local Ford dealer today. Not all models, trims, or features may be available. Contact your dealer for more information.
Optum Medical Center Tatnall, we know you're not yourself when even just one part of you is hurt. Optum Medical Center Tatnall in Reedsville provides Eagle Nation with the highest quality care in surgical, hospital, clinical, diagnostic, and therapeutic services. The physician-owned medical center has been named one of America's top 100 best hospitals for joint replacement and is a 5-star recipient for total hip replacement, total knee replacement, and spinal fusion surgery. For more information, visit OptumHealthSystem.com.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
Hello, welcome to another bank. Please just say what you need help with.
Check my balance.
I heard pay a bill. Is that correct?
When you bank at Morris Bank, you won't be greeted with an automated response system or wonder if you're just another account number, because real relationships make community banking better. Morris Bank and Georgia Southern football were built on the same blue-collar mentality. And at Morris Bank, blue isn't just a part of our ad campaign, it's a part of our DNA. Morris Bank is proud to be the season presenting sponsor of Georgia Southern football. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC.
You need the best players. You need to keep them safe. And if they do get injured, you need the best occupational medicine services available to make sure that they're back in the game for you and your business. This is Leonard Bevel from Macon Occupational Medicine, and that's exactly what we've been doing for business and industries throughout Georgia since 1990. We outperform others by getting injured workers back to work quicker while maintaining the highest levels of customer satisfaction. The health of your business may depend on us. We're Macon Occupational Medicine.
Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network, now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Third down and 9 from the 10. Van Treese is checking the play. Going up to the line of scrimmage in the midst of 86,000 here at Memorial Stadium. Play clock to 2-1 the snap. 5-man pressure. Van Treese slant. Caught Jones. Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern. That's Amari Jones' first touchdown as a Georgia Southern Eagle. It's 34-28 on a drive to open the third quarter. Georgia Southern's back in front with 12-12 on the clock.
More Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, presented each week by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. Morris Bank is rooted in Eagle Nation, and most of the leadership team are Georgia Southern alumni. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue, Morris Bank, member FDIC. As always, you can submit your questions on Facebook Live or on Twitter at GS Sports Network. We promised you him. He is up on stage. Eagle Nation, give it up. Linebacker Todd Bradley-Glenn.
How y'all doing? Appreciate you having me.
That smile's a little bit wider after beating Nebraska, I would imagine, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. Very excited, man. We just blessed and just played a good game and came out with a W.
You hear enough that you're a seventh-year senior.
Yeah.
But during the week, when we were talking about the travel from Statesboro to Lincoln and how for a lot of guys it was the first time that they had ever flown, I thought back to your freshman year of 2016, the first time that we would have flown that year was up to Kalamazoo to take on Western Michigan. You had a pretty big game that night.
Oh, yeah. It was just a different experience. I mean, that was my first time ever flying. And just like my first time, there's a lot of freshmen, they first time ever flying, so they had a lot of anxiety and stuff like that on the plane. And you just, I don't know, you just kind of let them experience it and get just, you know.
Seeing this program for almost 50 games now, I know that you've been through what you've been through, but to be here so long, how much more of an appreciation do you have for what Statesboro and what Eagle Nation mean?
Just a lot. I mean, I've been here 7 years, almost a decade. So it's just blessed, and it's become a part of me now. I've been here a lot, and just established a lot of roots here, a lot of connections in the community and things like that. So it just feels like home.
I know you're a South Georgia boy, being from Valdosta.
Yeah.
So I don't know that I've ever asked you this question at all the times that we have talked, but what did you know about Georgia Southern before you decided to make this such a big part of your life?
Nothing. I had never heard of Georgia Southern, to be honest.
Seriously?
Yeah. I mean, only thing I knew was about college football was I was a Miami Hurricanes fan growing up. That was about it. I didn't know about Georgia Southern. Everybody in my house was Georgia fans or Florida fans. So I didn't really know, and I live in Valdosta, so it's Valdosta State. I didn't really know much. I had never been to a college game till probably my junior year.
So the last time for Miami, the last time that they would have been at a national championship game, you'd have only been a couple of years old, right?
Yeah, I think 2001 or 3.
The last time they won it was when they beat Nebraska in the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
Seeing everything that you've seen and now working with this staff, with Coach Helton, with everybody that he's brought in, this culture, this way of doing things, how do you think this group has come together the way that they have?
He just preaches every day, just about coming together. They just bring in a whole different element to the table. The way they treat us, the whole culture, just how we work every day, and how we went out there and won Saturday. We earned that throughout the week. How we worked so hard and things like that. And things not gonna be easy. We gotta work for it. That's what he's preaching every day, and we just building that culture day by day to get better.
You would have been here in 2017 when the team went 2-10. That next year, going to 10 wins, winning the Camellia Bowl. Going from 3-9 last year, and the team is already 2-0 this year.
Right.
Do you see any similarities between that experience, or is there something that's really setting this apart?
I definitely see similarities, just with a whole culture shift, and we just got a lot of older guys on the team now. Like with that team that went 10-3, we had a lot of guys, the year before play because, a bad season, and a lot of young guys play, got experience, and then you had a mix of older and young guys coming back. And then it's just new energy in the building. Everybody's excited for just the new coaches, new staff, and what they bring to the table, and everybody just having a good time. Everybody having fun again. So, and that's what the biggest thing is. And we all having fun, and we going out there on Saturdays, going out there and practice, getting better. And it's just that new energy, when something's different, it's not always bad. It's good sometimes. And, everybody excited, and everybody just ready to work and, bring back that win in the Statesboro.
Being at practice every day, I know how hard you guys have worked.
But is it possible for you guys to have fun while you're working that hard?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, we have fun. We have fun every week. It's definitely hard. It's you kind of see that after practice. You know, a lot of times, I mean, we come in there after Tuesday, Wednesday, and be like, man, you know, that was a day. You know, but you know, we do it with a smile, and we just try to go out there and have each other's backs and stuff like that. But you know, we have fun. We know we crack jokes, all that. You know, we real relaxed. You know, dance and all that stuff. But you know, I mean, we go work though. At the end of the day, we go work.
You know, as part of the work, it seems like it's been a lot more good on good this year. The ones versus the ones, the twos versus the twos. The pads have been popping when NCAA rules allow the pads to pop, especially during that camp period. How much do you think that that's helped getting off to a 2-0 start?
A lot. You know, iron sharpens iron. You know, when you're going against our best against their best, you know, ones versus ones, things like that. You get a live look at, you know, real bullets flying, you know, that you go see like we did this last Saturday against Nebraska, you know. You with big guys, you know, our receivers versus DBs, you know, best in the country. You know, up front, some of the best in the country. You know, even with Kyle at quarterback, you know, as you seen what he did Saturday, going against him, you know, you really got to work. You really got to work every day. Bring your A game to get better. So we go out there on Saturdays and things are easy.
When you're a defensive player, but you're watching your offense do what it did with 642 yards against a Big Ten team, what you thinking about?
We think we need to stop. I mean, those guys are going crazy, and we're just like, oh man, like, you know, they really picking us up today. And only thing we think is we need to get some stops so we can, you know, put this thing away. But it was just good to see you know, see them putting up points, and I mean, they were hot and they were rolling. You know, they coming to us and say, hey, you know, we got y'all. Don't worry, just get a couple stops and we good. So it just feels good for them to have our back, and we got their back at the end of the day. So,
you know, Saturday night was one of the biggest moments in the history of the program, but this team has bigger goals. This team is fighting for a chance to win the East, go to a Sun Belt championship, eventually be in consideration for a New Year's Six. How can you celebrate this kind of victory the right way so this is not the biggest moment of the season?
I mean, we already done celebrating, to be honest. We already moved on to the next game. We kind of celebrated on the plane, and after that, we reset, man. We on the UAB, and we already working, watching film on them, things like that. You know, it's a very emotional win, but we got to come back down, and, you know, we still got 10 more games, you know, guaranteed right now. So we need to, in order to get those extra bonus games, we got to refocus in and get back to work, and that's what we're doing right now.
You ready to see that run game on Saturday? They're going to throw a lot of backs at you.
Oh yeah, and, you know, they're pretty good. Can't wait to compete against them and play football.
3:30 Eastern kick on Saturday from Birmingham. Georgia Southern and UAB will be live at 1:30 with a Cutwater Spirits tailgate show. Bud, I know we get a chance to talk a lot, but I always enjoy it. Good luck Saturday. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
That's Todd Bradley-Glenn, one of our favorites. We'll get back to head coach Clay Helton. We'll preview those UAB Blazers after this timeout. This is Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.
You trained for this all year. Endless hours of cardio, conditioning, and weights. And now you are ready. Ready to trek back to your seat from the concession stand. Through the lines, lost fans, and that mascot who wants you to do a little dancey dance, all without spilling a drop of your ice-cold Bud Light. Welcome back to football, sports fans.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Vision, new identity, same battle cry.
Man, what a great day to be an Eagle. Mercy.
It's time to GATA.
Gerald Green outside the hash. 10, 5, bye-bye. Jalen White, welcome the young bull all the way home. Najee Thompson, what a tackle at the 10-yard line. How much fun is he to watch?
Listen Listen to Eagles football all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Victor deployed for the first time to Afghanistan in 2003. He sustained a moderate traumatic brain injury. One of the most important elements of caregiving is taking care of yourself.
For many military veteran caregivers, their caregiving journey starts earlier in life and lasts longer. Visit aarp.org/caregiving for a free military veterans guide to navigate your caregiving journey and better care for your loved one and yourself. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
To protect his home and family from disaster, Steve used courage, wisdom, and his camera phone.
That should do it.
Way to go, Steve! By simply taking digital pictures of his family's important documents, Steve can always have them stored safely online, no matter when disaster strikes. Learn other simple ways to protect your home and family before a natural disaster at ready.gov. That's ready.gov. A message from FEMA and the Ad Council.
Powered by Learfield, this is the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Welcome back to Hail Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank.
Wings up, Eagle Nation! Touchdown, Georgia Southern!
Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's return live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Just a couple of minutes left this week. Our final segment of Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro, presented by Morris Bank on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield. A reminder, we will have trivia coming up after this from 8 to 9 p.m. Chance to win some great prizes, so do stick around for a chance to play some Eagle trivia. Coming up next Monday as we preview homecoming against Ball State, our special guest will be Georgia Southern men's golfer Ben Carr. He'll be here next Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m., so come on by and see the guy that finished in second place in this year's U.S. Amateur over the summer. Great exposure for the athletic department in the program. Ben will be alongside during our first segment. Any questions or last-minute comments for Coach, you can submit those on Twitter @GS Sports Network or on Facebook via the comments section. Do have a question coming in from Twitter. The Red Dragon is back again, and he asks, what are the chances we see Burgess wearing the number 0 this week?
Well, I tell you, that 0 is a special commodity for us, and it's about, as you've seen in the first 2 weeks with Jeff and with Sam, it's about the guy that just is an unselfish player that plays, he puts the team above himself in every way, and I'll tell you, Derwin is one of those candidates for it because he's a kid that you look at in that first game that didn't get the numbers, but still played a heck of a game, and really was a team player, whether it was blocking safeties for the run game, running routes to be able to get other guys open. He was unselfish. And we always say your time is coming. And then you look up and it's his time. All of a sudden he's not facing double coverage. He's getting some man-on-man situations, and he makes the most of his opportunities, and he shined the brightest. When it was the most on the line, and we were all fighting like heck for a W, he made his play. So he's definitely a candidate. It's about the guy that is unselfish and puts the team above self, that is the most disciplined and has the accountability for the team. And so we go through the week and make the decision on Thursday based on, the production and practice and what's going on in every aspect of our lives, not just football, but academically and community-wise, what you've done in that locker room. Were you a good teammate all week? And Derwin's been up there a bunch, so yeah, he's a candidate for it.
2 weeks into the season, he already has 16 receptions. He had 17 his entire freshman season. 12 of those came on Saturday, which set the Georgia Southern school record by 2. Rajai Andrews had back-to-back 10-catch games in 2008. But the staggering thing about the numbers, Kyle threw 56 passes. He targeted Derwin 23 times. The kind of relationship that those two have developed off and on the field, you can tell there's a lot of trust.
Yeah, definitely. You know, there's chemistry right now amongst that receiving core, and Kyle trusts those guys. And it's not just the starters; it's the guys like that Sam that came in.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a critical play right before halftime, an explosive play down the middle. So it's all the guys. I mean, in the most critical moment, you know, he checks to an inside fade route, you know, to Caleb Hood on his own. I mean, and really set us up for that last drive. He saw man coverage and said, you know what, Coach, this may be the only time that I get it, you know, and I see the safety in the middle of the field. I'm going to go give Caleb a chance. And, man, is that trust and belief not only in yourself, but most importantly the teammates that are around you.
That play goes for 27 on 3rd and 3 during that final drive. I know the offense has this goal where you want to get somewhere around 7 plays of 20-plus per game. You've gotten 8 each of the first 2 games. No coincidence you're 2-0.
Yeah, definitely. The game is about, you know, the explosiveness that you have to be able to flip the field, and we've been able to do that in both games. It's one of the reasons you look up and you score 59 and you score 45 is being able to put yourself in the red zone, and I'm proud of what we're doing about finishing in the red zone right now, especially with the run game. So it goes hand in hand.
For Georgia Southern this week, it's against UAB, a team that is 1-1. They shut out Alabama A&M to start the season, 59-0. They went to Lynchburg, Virginia, lost to Liberty 21-14, but they ran for almost 270. They fumbled 4 times, and we were talking that if they don't lose maybe just one of those fumbles, they probably blow Liberty out.
Yeah, they're a mad football team right now. Yeah. I know they are, because they had an opportunity to be 2-0 right now, and that went away with the turnovers. This is a physical, tough football team that is, you know, has the culture that Bill Clark put in place, that Coach Vincent is carrying on. They know physicality. They know how to win. Most importantly, you see what they have done over the past couple years, and you look at this team on tape and you go, wow, this is extremely similar to what we just played.
Yeah.
You know, a defense that shut out their first opponent, held an explosive Liberty team that knows how to put up points with Coach Freeze to 21 points and really kept them in the game while those turnovers were happening. So we've got a big challenge on our hand. It starts today, really, with the kids, you know, getting the game plan and then taking it to the practice field tomorrow. And we look forward to the preparation just like we do every week. We're 0-0. You know, that's the way we approach it. We're 0-0, and we're trying to get 1-0 this week.
What are some of these other things with about a minute left? What are some other things that we should know about UAB going into the weekend?
You know, one of the things that I think that you'll see, their mentality of being able to run the ball and stopping the run is priority 1 for them. You can just tell, and to be able to be physical on the defense offensive front is going to be critical.
Coach, thank you so much for being here tonight. Congratulations on a huge victory, and best of luck getting to 1-0 this weekend against UAB.
Thank you, guys. Hail Southern. Thanks for being here.
Thanks so much to Chris Adams, to Todd Bradley-Glenn, and head coach Clay Helton. Georgia Southern football on the road again in Birmingham this weekend. First ever matchup, Eagles and UAB, 3:30 kick, 1:30 air, right here on the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield.